What if every thought you repeated today was not simply an echo in your mind, but a silent command whispered into the fabric of reality itself? Most people don't live with this awareness. They wake up each morning convinced that their lives are governed by invisible forces beyond their reach. Genetics, luck, or the unpredictable hands of fate. And with that belief, a heavy silence grows inside, the sense that no matter how much effort is poured into change, nothing will truly shift. You may have felt this yourself, that strange, aching suspicion that you are powerless to alter the script life has handed. But the truth is far more intimate and far more revolutionary than what most of us have been told. Bruce Lipton reminds us that our cells are not passive victims of DNA. They are listening, they are reading, they are responding to the chemistry created by our thoughts, our feeling, our inner environment. The cell membrane, he says, is like an antenna. It doesn't obey a fixed script, it tunes into signal, which means your body, at its very core, is already shaping itself according to the unseen dialogue between your mind and your emotions. And here, another layer of the mystery unfolds. Joe Dispenza teaches us that our thoughts generate electrical signals, while our emotions radiate magnetic ones. Together, they form an electromagnetic field, a personal broadcast that reaches far beyond your skin. It is not abstract, it is physics. The frequency of your inner state is constantly meeting, touching and influencing the world around you. The field you carry doesn't only change how you feel, it alters how reality arranges itself around you. The counterintuitive revelation is this: your life is not being shaped by the wishes you consciously repeat, but by the signals you unconsciously broadcast. Your subconscious mind is the true radio transmitter, and if that transmitter is set to fear, scarcity, or self-doubt, no amount of surface-level affirmations will override the static. It is like trying to tune into a jazz station while your dial remains locked on noise. The melody you long for is always there, but you can't receive it until your inner dial is aligned. So the question is not simply, what do you want? The question is, what frequency are you living in right now? Because the universe does not respond to words alone. It responds to the emotional electricity behind them. If your thoughts and feelings are scattered, incoherent, or in conflict with each other, the signals you send into the field return in the same fragmented way. Chaos instead of coherence, resistance instead of flow. This is why so many people struggle. They are not failing because the universe has ignored. They are not failing because their destiny is sealed. They are only failing to notice the subtle truth. Reality is not tuned by wishful thinking, but by the coherence of mind and heart together. And so, as we begin this journey, I invite you to set aside the old idea of positive think. This is not about reciting perfect words. It is about reprogramming the silent signals that your subconscious has been broadcasting for years. Signals that may have been formed in childhood, in moments of pain, in experiences of loss, in beliefs handed down by those who themselves felt powerless. What we are about to explore is the hidden power of your inner signals, how your thoughts and your feelings are not private at all, but deeply creative forces that echo through your body, through your energy, and into the very fabric of reality. This is not an escape into fantasy. It is the most practical, grounded spirituality, the recognition that coherence, gratitude, and alignment are not abstract ideals, but living frequencies that shape the world you walk. So stay with, breathe deeply. Allow yourself to feel seen in your struggles. You are not alone in your pain. You are not late. You are not broke. What you are about to uncover is not a promise of instant transformation, but an initiation into the real mechanics of how life unfolds from within you. This is the beginning of learning to tune the dial. This is the first step into remember. Your thoughts and your feelings are not whispers lost in silence. They are the very signals from which reality itself takes shape. The silent saboteur, how unconscious beliefs hijack your reality. There is a silence that follows us into adulthood, the silent conviction that our lives are already written. Many carry the weight of the idea that their future is carved by their gene, that destiny is a locked script. This belief is not loud, it doesn't scream, it whispers beneath daily choices, telling us, this is who you are, and nothing can change it. That whisper shapes not only our self-image, but the possibility we dare to see. Bruce Lipton's research shatters this illusion. Epigenetics shows that our genes are not rigid commands. patterns. They are switches, waiting for signals from the environment, from perception, from belief itself. Your biology listens. It adapts, which means that when you think genetics is destined, you close a door that was never locked. The body is not a prison. It is a reflection of the invisible instructions you deliver every day through thought and feeling. This truth touches a deeper wound. Many of us declare abundance, yet live in the vibration of scarcity. We repeat words of affirmation with the conscious mind, while the subconscious, the real transmit, keeps broadcasting fear, doubt, and lack, and the subconscious always wins. You may have noticed it in your own life, how no matter how hard you push forward, old patterns return. It is not because you are weak. It is because a deeper program is running silently beneath your efforts. This is why sheer willpower so often collapses. Willpower belongs to the surface. Coherence belongs to the depths. Reality responds to the alignment between thought and feeling, not to the force of repetition. And when alignment is absent, no affirmation can take. Perhaps you have already seen the path, the same negative thought rising again and again, the same inner critic returning in moments of vulnerability. To bring awareness to this pattern is to begin dissolving its power. When you notice the trigger, when you pause and recognize the program, you are no longer entirely inside of it. You are beginning to stand outside, holding the pen that can rewrite it. Think of your subconscious as software silently running in the background of your life. Unless it is rewritten, the same code will continue to generate the same outcome, no matter how many new goals you set on the surface. If the software is built on scarcity, the reality generated will echo scarcity. If it is written with fear, the outer world will mirror fear. But here lies the quiet liberation. The program can be rewritten, not instantly, not by force, but through awareness, through presence, through the steady recognition that the subconscious is not your enemy. It is a faithful machine following instructions. Change the instructions, and the machine begins to respond differently. In the next steps of this journey, we will explore how to send those new instructions, not through empty words, but through the deeper frequency of emotion, coherence, and alignment. For now, let the metaphor settle inside. Your subconscious is not fake. It is software, and every line of code can be rewritten. Why your emotions are the real architects of reality. There is a quiet mistake that many carry, the belief that if they think long enough or hard enough, life will eventually bend to their will. So they repeat ideas, construct affirmations, and try to push reality with sheer mental effort. Yet deep inside, they wonder why nothing truly changes. The answer is not a lack of intelligence or discipline. It is that thought, on its own, has no weight. Without emotion, it cannot impress itself into matter. Neuroscience confirms what spirituality has whispered for centuries. Emotions are not abstract mood. They are messengers carried through the body in chemical form, altering biology in the very moment they arrive. Stress floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline, shifting perception into survival, narrowing the future into a tunnel of fear. Joy, love, and gratitude release cascades of restorative chemistry, expanding perception and opening the brain's creative centers. In this sense, each emotion you cultivate is already sculpting the architecture of tomorrow. This is why thinking about a desire without feeling it as true leaves no imprint. The universe does not respond to mental noise. It responds to the resonance of embodied feeling. The counterintuitive truth is that gratitude, when practiced before results appear, accelerates manifestation. It signals to the body that the desire is already here, that abundance has already arrived. And the body, unable to distinguish imagination from reality, begins to align with the frequency of fulfillment. There is a quiet ritual in this recognition. Each morning you may hold in your awareness one vision, not as a fantasy, but as a memory already lived. And with that vision, you allow the emotion to rise, the warmth of peace, the expansion of love, the safety of having arrived. In this way, your body begins to memorize a new state of being. Thought provides the blueprint, but it is feeling that brings color, depth, and weight. The image is simple. Thoughts are the pen, emotions the ink. A pen without ink can move endlessly across the page, yet it leaves nothing behind. Only when the ink flows does the page receive the story. In the same way, only when thought is joined with emotion does reality receive your intention. And so, when you look back at your life, notice not only what you were thinking, but what you were consistently feeling. For it is feeling that writes the script. It is feeling that speaks to the cells, to the field, to the unseen intelligence, weaving your experiences together. Your emotions are not passengers in this journey. They are the architects, building bridges to the reality that thought alone could never create. The coherence paradox. Why most fail at the law of attraction. Across the world, many people sit in silence, repeating words they hope will change their lives. They recite affirmations day after day, believing that the repetition of language alone will summon a new reality. And yet, for most, nothing changes. The gap between desire and experience widens, and frustration deepens. They begin to suspect that perhaps the law of attraction is nothing more than an illusion. But the truth is not that the principle failed. It is that most approach it from the surface, ignoring the deeper current that gives words their power. Words alone are vibrations in the air. They carry potential, but without coherence, they have no resonance. To believe that speaking abundance while feeling scarcity will transform life is to miss the essence of creation. Reality does not respond to contradiction. If the heart trembles with fear, while the mouth repeats hope, the universe listens to the vibration beneath the words, and it answers accordingly. The paradox is that the more one tries to force belief through words alone, the more the inner split grows. This is why Joe Dispenza speaks of heart-brain coherence. When the mind's electrical signals unite with the heart's magnetic resonance, the field around the body becomes harmonized, measurable, and strong. Intention is amplified not by volume of repetition, but by the depth of alignment between thought and feeling. There is a simple practice that illustrates this mystery. Slow breathing in rhythm with the heart quiets the body. Inhaling for 5 seconds, exhaling for 5 seconds, while holding attention gently in the chest, invites gratitude to rise. Gratitude, not as performance, but as a sincere presence, becomes the bridge between heart and mind. And as coherence grows, intention is no longer fragile. It becomes charged, alive, and magnetic. Think of it like an electrical circuit. You may hold the most brilliant light bulb, yet if the wires are disconnected, the bulb will never glow. Words without emotional coherence are those disconnected wires. They contain the potential for light, but the circuit remains broken. Only when the heart and the mind are joined does the current flow, and only then does reality illuminate in response. This is the paradox that so many overlook. It is not the quantity of affirmations that matters. It is not the performance of words. It is the silent, invisible coherence between mind and heart that turns intention into creation. Without it, the law of attraction remains a theory. With it, the field itself bends, and life begins to answer. How anxiety blocks quantum possibility without you noticing. Anxiety often disguises itself as care, as responsibility, as the attempt to take control of life. But beneath its surface, it is an energy that contracts, a vibration that closes doors. When urgency rises inside, when the mind races to predict every possible outcome, the signal you broadcast is not expansion, it is dissonance. And dissonance cannot open the field of new possibilities. It narrows it. From the perspective of neuroscience, anxiety is not just a feeling, it is chemistry. Cortisol surges through the bloodstream, adrenaline sharpens focus, and the brain shifts into survival mode. In this state, the body believes danger is present. Creativity, vision, and openness shut down. What remains is vigilance, the search for threat. Yet in that search, the greater horizon disappears. You cannot imagine abundance when your biology is bracing for impact. You cannot see new opportunities when your mind is narrowed to survival. Here lies the paradox. Surrender, which many fear as weakness, is in truth a higher form of strength. Surrender is not passivity, it is not giving up, it is alignment with a wider field of possibilities that your anxious mind cannot yet see. Anxiety demands control. Surrender allows life to move through you, and in that move, what once seemed impossible begins to appear. In the moments when anxiety rises, consider the hidden cost. Each wave of worry does more than disturb peace. It silences potential. It is as if an entire spectrum of futures is waiting, luminous and untouched. But the anxious signal collapses it into only one path, the path of fear. The invisible question anxiety whispers is always, what if everything goes wrong? Yet the deeper question that opens the field is, what if possibilities greater than my control are trying to unfold? Imagine anxiety as static on a radio. The song you long to hear is already playing. The melody exists, but the static drowns it out. The anxious signal fills the air with noise, obscuring the music. And so the reality you seek, though present, cannot be received. The music has not disappeared, only the interference has. To recognize this truth is to begin loosening anxiety's grip. The field of infinite outcomes has never closed its doors to you. It is your vibration that determines how many of those doors you can see. And when urgency softens into presence, when control dissolves into trust, the static fades, the music returns, the infinite becomes audible again. The quantum mirror. Why reality reflects your inner signature. There are moments when life feels unresponsive, as if the universe itself has gone silent. You set intentions, you dream, you hope, yet the world seems to ignore your efforts. This silence can be one of the deepest pain, a frustration that whispers, perhaps reality does not hear me, perhaps nothing will ever change. But what if the universe is not ignoring you? What if it is mirroring you, reflecting not the words you speak, but the vibration you carry? The hidden concept is this: the universe is not a vending machine that dispenses results in exchange for requests. It is a mirror, vast and quantum, amplifying back the frequency of your dominant state. When you radiate peace, it reflects peace. When you radiate fear, it reflects fear. This is not punishment, it is resonance. Reality cannot echo what you wish, it can only echo what you are being. Here lies a counterintuitive truth. The more you resist what is, the stronger it becomes. To fight against the present moment is to energize it, to feed it with the very attention that makes it grow. Acceptance, on the other hand, is not resignation. It is the key that shifts frequency. When you accept where you are, stop pushing against the mirror. You free yourself to change the image, not by breaking the reflection, but by transforming the source. Each night, the mirror offers evidence of this. If you recall a single moment of your day with honesty, you will notice how your inner state was reflected back to you. A conversation colored by impatience, an opportunity missed while your mind lingered in doubt, a gesture of kindness returned when you carried gratitude. The mirror was never absent. It was always exact. And in remember, you also glimpse your power, for what was reflected can be reimagined. What was once fear can be rewritten with the vibration of love, presence, and abundance. The metaphor is unyielding in its simplicity. Reality is a quantum mirror. It does not reveal who you wish to become. It reveals who you already are. The reflection may sometimes be painful, but it is always truth. And within that truth lies the invitation to shift, not by demanding the mirror to change, but by altering the signature you bring before it. This understanding is not easy. It asks you to stop waiting for reality to confirm your worth, and instead to radiate worth before it is reflected. It asks you to walk in the vibration of healing before the evidence of healing appears. It asks you to embody abundance before abundance shows its face. The mirror does not create first, you do. And when the inner signature shifts, the reflection cannot help but follow, rewriting the invisible script of your life. From childhood, many of us were taught to believe that life is determined by forces we cannot reach, by DNA, by circumstance, by luck. This belief lingers in the body, like an old story written so deeply that it seems impossible to erase. Yet Bruce Lipton reveals a truth that softens this weight. Biology does not follow fixed DNA. It follows perception. Your cells are not waiting for destiny. They are waiting for instruction. And those instructions arise from the lens through which you see yourself in the world. Shift perception, and you shift the message your very biology receives. This understanding opens a door into something even more mysterious, something Neville Goddard carried into his teaching: imagination as the seed state of reality. He taught that to feel the wish fulfilled, to inhabit the inner experience of what you long for as if it were already true, is to plant a seed in the subconscious that reality cannot ignore. It is not fantasy, it is rehearsal at the deepest level of being. And when the subconscious accepts this rehearsal as truth, the outer world begins to bend toward it. The counterintuitive closure is this: life does not change when circumstances rearrange themselves first. Life changes when the inner narrative shifts. The story you tell yourself in silence is the blueprint. The emotions that rise when you picture your future are the signal. And only when the inner script is rewritten does the outer stage begin to reflect a new scene. To integrate this truth is to allow yourself a simple practice of inner rehearsal. Each day, close the chapter of ordinary thought and open a quiet space where imagination is not dismissed as childish, but honored as sacred. See one scene of the life you long for as though it were already lived. Feel the body soft, the heart expand, the breath deepen, as if you are standing inside that fulfilled moment. Let the body memorize it. Let the cells receive it. Let the subconscious record it as fact. What you practice in imagination is already becoming part of it. Think of it like a script before a performance. The actors do not improvise blindly. They follow the lines that have already been written. In the same way, your imagination edits the invisible script before reality steps onto the stage. If the script remains filled with fear, the performance will echo fear. But if the script is rewritten with presence, love, and alignment. The stage of tomorrow will reflect that truth. So let this understanding settle in you. The invisible script is not permanent. The pen has always been in your hands, and as you write, reality listens. Speak quietly to yourself now, and let the words take root. I am alive. I am whole. I am the author of my inner script. And tomorrow, the mirror of life will rise to perform what I have already written today.